If your business still isn't on social media, you're not mysterious, you're invisible. It is estimated that over 60% of the population is on social media. That's how much reach you're missing out on. Every day you don't post, that's a missed opportunity. Social media is not only free marketing, it is becoming the way to make your business visible. Now, I know this can seem stressful, especially if social media has never been your thing, but today I'm going to take you through a 5-step guide on how to start your business on social media. So the first step is the setup process. In this phase, we're going to create your social media accounts and set everything up in regards to that. So first, to make sure we stay consistent and keep the branding, we're going to figure out your brand logo. You probably already have one if you have an up and running business, and we're going to figure out the color swatches, which you should try and keep pretty consistent to your actual business colors. This will help with consistency and branding. Now, think about what social media platforms you want to use. Maybe if you're a local business, you want to lean on Facebook and Instagram. And maybe if you're an online business selling products, you might want to lean closer to TikTok or even YouTube. These platforms are for you to decide what you want to use, but you can't use all of them, so pick wisely. So now we know what platforms your company is going to use. Let's set them up. Add your logo or a professional profile picture of you if you'd like. Now, name your accounts. I do recommend keeping this as similar to your business name as possible. If you can't go exact, just maybe write your name in business or cafe or whatever it is. Just try and keep it consistent to what your product or what your business actually is. As for your bio on all your social medias, I'd put the store location if you're a physical store, and I'd do the opening hours if they're consistent enough to write. And maybe if you have some extra room, add a mission statement about why your company does what it does, or maybe just a little about the business. And then I'd also link, if possible, the website to your business, because every business, no matter what, should have a website, and you always want to link people back to yours because that is your website that you control. So now we have our platforms ready with a nice bio, a nice profile picture, consistent colors, and everything set up nicely. Phase 2 is going to be planning. So this will depend heavily on what your business actually is, but figure out content pillars or content ideas. Ideally, content pillars is the best thing to do here. So a content pillar is something that tends to be, you pick 3 to 5 of them, and they're just themes or topics that you might follow. So if you're a cafe, you might do relatable content, such as making funny TikToks, or something about being a coffee lover, or something similar that will reach a wide range of people that will get a lot of views, maybe not necessarily a lot of clicks or a lot of customers, but a lot of views get you that reach your account needs. So this might be content pillar 1, a theme or topic of relatability. Your second one might be aesthetic videos, maybe aesthetic videos of you making coffee or the cafe. A lot of people like to go to cafes for aesthetics and to study and to take photos. So especially if you're in a highly touristy area, this will always be a good content pillar as well. And then the third one I would do is maybe educational. You could do coffee fun facts or post recipes even for people to try it at home if they're a fan of your drinks but don't live there. This could even entice people to go and visit you even if you're a little bit further away. So those are just a few content ideas. Obviously, this is going to vary heavily depending on your business, but just come up with 3 to 5 different topic ideas that relate back to your branding, your business. And if you need help coming up with any, just comment below and I'll try my best to help you and give you some ideas. Now, if you don't want to do content pillars, you can just relate videos back to your brand, but I think it's good to have a few. Just that way you can always go back to them if you don't have any video ideas, and you can be like, okay, educational. I know that I like doing coffee recipes, or I know that the relatable videos do really well. Just having those few content pillars to categorize your videos by is always going to be helpful, but you don't have to do that, since usually with a business comes a niche anyways. Now for the next step, we're going to come up with 30 to 50 video ideas and start scripting them or working on making them. Now I know this sounds like a lot, but the quicker we can grow a collection of videos, even if they just sit in drafts, the quicker you will grow, because the more videos you just have backlogged, the more consistent you can really be. You can use my content calendar if you'd like. I have a monthly content calendar I use for my scripting, so I'll link it below if you want to. You can just write all your video ideas, label what accounts they're going on, what platforms, what type of video it is, and you can link the script easily as well. So I really like using this monthly one to organize content monthly because I like to batch for the month. And now, even though you're a business, no one wants to just scroll through corporate ads ads. If they'd do that, they'd just turn on YouTube where there's 50 billion ads. So try and have a little bit of fun with it. While you do have to remember, of course, your content is going to heavily reflect your company. And if you mess up and do one bad video, it could be really detrimental. So do really keep in mind what kind of viewership or what image you want to put out into the world. But definitely try and have fun with it, because people are more inclined to buy from a brand that might be relatable or have a little bit more of a funny aspect to them. Once they feel that emotional connection to a brand, they do want to stay loyal to it. So now we have our platforms and we have our ideas written down. We're going into phase 3, week 1 of posting. Now in this phase, I suggest posting 3 core videos on day 1. An about me / about the business, why you started the company and the mission behind it. You could do this as B-roll, or you could do a sitting talking head, depends how visible you are in the business. But I think this one is good. It will be something heartfelt to connect your audience, and if they feel emotionally connected to your mission statement or why you're running the business, why you're operating this business, they will be more inclined to pick you over a competitor. Secondly, I heavily recommend having info about the company, whether this is the services you provide, the locations, the opening hours, how to find you, whatever it is. I always find if I'm interested in something and I go onto their page to find more about them and they have nothing about anything, or they have the incorrect hours or incorrect location, or just seem really confusing, I'm less inclined to just buy from them, because they might seem a bit scammy or confused, or if their TikToks don't have this quality information, what's going to say their products will? So for me personally, I would probably film some B-roll of people laughing, drinking coffee, maybe the atmosphere, and I would make sure the store locations are there, the opening hours are there, where you can find us, if you have any events coming up, whatever it is. And if you ever change anything, do make sure to update this video. The third one, you can kind of do whatever you'd like, but personally, I would recommend a post about what makes you different. Maybe if you have a clothing company, maybe for every clothes someone buys, you match it and give it to a homeless shelter, or maybe you have a really personal story, or a really personal story about the quality of the brand, or how you make sure your product is so up to standard, it's way above competitors. Whatever it is, just make a short video either explaining it or having B-roll with text over it, where you just explain to the customer why they should pick you, because chances are your competitors are also online, and the better your videos are, the more clear and the more concise on why you were the better option, the better the sales will be. Now that you have your 3 posts posted, I want you to pin all 3. So for Instagram, TikTok, for most social media platforms, you can post up to 3 videos, and I want you to post these 3 at the top, because that means they will stay at the top of your platform. Your information will always be super, super clear. Now, these 3 videos aren't going to incredibly perform or anything. Like if you're just scrolling and you see a random about me or mission statement of a brand, you might not be inclined to follow because you don't really know what the brand is yet. But the point of these videos is that when someone's already clicked on another one of your videos and has already found interest in your brand, that they can see these pinned videos and get real, clear, concise videos and understanding and information, so that they can convert to customers. Now, for the rest of the week, literally just focus on getting 1 video out there. We want to build a little bit of a portfolio of videos so that your account doesn't look bare. Think trending audios and educational videos, and get a real mix of all your content pillars. We're really trying to just reach an audience here and set up this profile. You are unlikely to get a lot of sales from something like a trending audio or relatable thing. You might get 1 million views, but you might only get 10 customers, whereas you might get 100,000 views on an educational video and get a ton more sales. It's all dependent on what the content type is, but the point is we want to get a mix. We want to get a mix of customers and we want to get a mix of viewers, and we just want eyes on our brand for this first week. Because remember, you haven't been on social media, so no one knows you even exist yet. So now we're going to move to phase 4, which is a crucial step that I think a lot of people, whether you're a business, whether you're a personal platform, miss, and this is engagement. So now we have a week's worth of content, maybe a little bit more, to engage with, and I want you to engage with every comment, every question, every suggestion, unless it's like a blatant hate comment or something you can't respond to professionally. Just be super clear, super professional with your responses, but still engaging and still try and build up that loyal customer base. So when someone messages, if you're making, for example, a relatable video and someone makes a joke, feel free to have fun with them back. You don't have to be super professional, but if someone has a problem with your product or if someone has a question, do make sure to answer as professionally as possible. Social media is a community. Every marketing campaign that exists that does super, super well, you'll notice really backs onto people's emotions and pulls at their heartstrings, because this tends to build a loyal following. People want to support people that they feel have that loyal connection to, or that emotional connection to. And social media is such a great way to build this loyal community or loyal customer base that has an emotional attachment to your specific branding, because that's kind of what social media was invented for: connection and community. And so if you can pull that with a brand to a customer, that's the goal. And this is always going to be easier when you are engaging with the possible customers. Even if you don't necessarily know if they're going to be a customer, it's always going to look good if a potential customer goes in the comments and sees you being super active with the community, responding to comments and questions and answering. But like I said, be really careful here. Just like your content reflects on your image, so do your comments. If I go and I see a brand being super snarky to someone having a question, I'm going to feel inclined to never ever buy from that brand. Now, at this stage, you might notice some frequently asked questions. Like, for example, if you're a cafe, maybe people ask if you have vegan options at this cafe. If you notice this question is done a lot, of course, respond in the comments, but also feel free to do a video response and kind of answer some frequently asked questions so that customers know that yes, there are vegan options, or yes, there are these types of options, and just really make it clear to the customer that you care and you're there to promote the product because you want them to have the best experience. Now, a big suggestion I would actually take into social media is to stay away from AI in a very obvious way. Now, I know some people like to use AI to kind of skip a lot of the bulk of doing content, and I do understand that, but a huge portion, especially younger audiences, will not appreciate AI being used to promote your products. So always just keep that in mind. Don't like use an AI person to promote it, or have the advertising be of AI people who aren't even real, because a lot of people will actually feel heavily distasteful for that. And I just personally think it's not worth it to venture into AI because of the amount of customers you will lose. But that is all for you to decide. Now we're going to move on to the last phase, phase 5, and this is consistency. You've got your 3 important videos down, a week's worth of content, you're engaging consistently with your community. So all you need to do now is post at a frequency that works for you and your business. So maybe weekly, maybe daily, depending on if you have exterior help, maybe a social media team, or maybe you just have extra time to delegate to this marketing. Whatever it is, post at a structure that works for you, but keep it consistent. So if you say you can post once a week, then post once a week. If you can say you can post daily, then post daily. Just keep it consistent and build up that portfolio. You are a business, you're not trying to build an influencing brand or anything, so you don't need to stay as consistent as weekly or even like daily, but you want to be consistent enough that your brand is like staying on the market. So to summarize everything, set up your chosen platform with your logo, your bio, and just everything around that branding structure. You want to have a super clean and neat looking profile, and you of course want your website to be linked. Secondly, you want to create the 3 pinned videos about the company, what sets you apart, and any critical information. Then you want to post consistently, whether this be weekly, daily, whatever, and you want to engage with the community, see suggestions, questions, etc. And just keep going. It's not always going to hit, and it can be hard to grow a brand, especially if you have a niche product or you've never touched social media before. But with these basic steps, you can really get going. The biggest things I would recommend is remember, have a clean audio, whether that's a mic or just in a quiet room. Have some good lighting. I have a ring light on now, for example, but I also have a window that I could be sitting in front of if I wanted to. So you can sit in front of a window, a ring light, whatever it is. Have good lighting, especially if you are showing off products. And then lastly, hook people in. People get bored like this, so you really want to reel them in. So even if you're a cafe or making an educational video, don't be afraid to state a really fun fact at the start, or something really controversial, or just a shocking thing to really draw them in. Of course, keep in mind, like I said, your brand image, but you just really want to hook people in at the start. So with those 3 tips and in those 5 phases, you should be ready to go setting up your business and getting way more opportunities and clientele than you ever have before. Remember, linked below in my description are all my helpful links, all my digital products, all my content calendars, all my social media platforms where I post daily. So don't forget to subscribe. I will see you guys later. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I will try my best to help you. Bye!